Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Please press like, subscribe, and share. And share this video with someone who you feel might need it. So this is part 2, the power of the subconscious mind. I'm just going to pick right up where I left off at. So your subconscious mind is extremely powerful. It reacts quickly when you say things filled with feeling. If they're not filled with feelings, then we need to go into the repetitive, where you say things like an affirmation. You say things over and over. The subconscious mind gets it and will begin to manifest it in your world. Also, your subconscious mind is going to manifest any of your past beliefs that you have that you're still holding on to. So if you believe, for example, all men are cheaters, and recently you tried to change that belief to, no, there's some good men out here who don't cheat, the belief that is the most powerful ingrained in you is the one that will supersede until you have done the affirmation or the belief, the new belief or affirmation long enough where it has power and it can supersede the old belief. Other than that, the old belief will be there. Your subconscious mind acts like a radar and attracts to you the beliefs that you have. So if you believe that, the rich get richer and the poor gets poor, that's what's going to happen in your life. You're going to become, if you're, poor, you're going to be more, every day you'll just find yourself struggling more and more with finances because that is the belief that's deeply ingrained in you. So now, how do we change these beliefs? Like I said, by taking on a new one and doing it as an affirmation and taking that one over, or just living your life in a way where the new belief, you're living it according to the new belief, not the old belief. That also will change it. So in other words, you wouldn't have to, if you're saying something like all men are cheaters, and then you believe, no, that's not true. There's a lot of good men out there too. If you act like that, then in the course of your conversations with other women and things, you'll begin to constantly say that, because it'll end up being repetition. You'll end up constantly saying that, and then it'll just gradually remove that first belief that men are, whatever the first belief was, it'll move it, and then you just go on. So you can either move it, number 1, by affirmations, or number 2, living the truth of the new belief, and then it'll automatically, eventually just change. It takes 21 days for a new belief to begin to set root and change. Now, I've had people to do affirmation about money. Money flows to me in abundance. In 21 days, or usually before, but a lot of times within that 21 days, they begin to see money flow. So they think, oh, okay, so this is the new belief. I might as well stop doing the affirmation because now it's working. Or Patricia said it takes 21 days, so on 22 days, I don't need to say that affirmation anymore. Not true. Why? Because the belief that you had, the negative belief about there's a shortage of money or whatever the belief was, is so powerful, ingrained in you. Because this isn't a belief that you just took on. This is a belief maybe that you took on when you were 17 years old and you're 60 now. Okay? So that belief is deeply ingrained. So yes, the belief begins to change in 21 days. However, the domineering belief is always going to supersede the belief that is not so domineering. So what do we do in that case? That's why I always give the instructions that when you're doing affirmations, that you do them for 90 days. That's why I do that. Because in 90 days, if you do it, that belief is pretty ingrained in, especially if you're living that new belief. It's pretty ingrained in, and then it'll stay, and it'll always be there. So now let me give you some examples where they don't stay. Like for instance, an aunt-in-law of mine was doing the belief that money flows to me in abundance. I think that was the belief. But whatever it was to increase her finances. But she was still going to the gambling casinos and she was losing. The feeling of the loss was so strong, so she was not, the affirmations couldn't work. So I said to her, because she would come home from, one day she came home from the gambling casino and she called me and she says, they're not going to let anybody win. You know, they let so many people win and they're going to mess them, work with the machines so people can't win. And she was she said this was feeling like angry. Like, why do they not have an even play field? Why do they have to mess with the machines? Everything is rigged, you know, just on and on and on. But she was angry about it, so she was putting the feelings. So I knew right there that this affirmation she's doing, that money flows to me in abundance, she's not even saying that one was feeling. So then this belief that the gambling casinos is rigged, the machines and all this, is going to be much stronger than the new belief she's trying to take in. So I knew that she should not go to the gambling casinos at all until the new belief was firmly in. And I told her that. No, she wanted to keep going. So what happened? Exactly what I said. She was just doing the new belief in vain because it never could even catch on. So it never had a chance in the beginning because every day she's going to the gambling casinos, you know, with that feeling of, what would that be? The feeling of loss. Because she'll come and say, oh, I lost again. But I should have known that because they got the machines rigged and all of this. Well, she's saying it with feeling again. So that's what happened. The affirmations just never did work. It couldn't catch on to work. You see what I mean? So another thing is that I know when I first started doing affirmations, and I did it for 90 days, I think I was affirming that I was going to make $5,000 a month. I started making $5,000 a month. And then I increased it to say I will make $10,000 a month. Well, I think when I got up to $7,000 a month, I just stopped saying it because I was happy. $7,000 a month. I went from like $2,300 a month to $7,000 a month. Girl, I was buying, going to the store, shopping. You know, so I was happy to get that $7,000, and money was still coming in. So when I stopped saying it, I noticed over time the money started not to come in the way it was coming in, because money was coming in every time I turned around. Here's somebody with a job or another job, and it just was coming in. Then all of a sudden it started dwindling down until the money stopped coming in. And I'm like, why do I have to redo this out? Even though I didn't go the complete 90 days, I had went very close to it because the money was flowing in and everything. I know I had did way over 60 days. So I'm thinking maybe 70 days or 80 days, something like that, very close to 90. So I'm thinking, why do I have to do this over again? Okay, so then about a year or two later, when I my finances had, was still going back to struggling. So we went back to struggling, and then I thought, let me do it again. So I did the affirmation again, the same affirmation that I had did a couple of years before. But I think it was I would earn $10,000 a month. But instead of having to do it for a couple of weeks before it started working, when I did it, it immediately started working. Like 2 days later, my phone was jumping off the hook with job offers. And I was an independent contractor, a nurse at the time. So I was getting independent work. So just, people were calling me, family members that heard about me, to hire me to take care of their loved ones. So anyway, my phone was just like jumping off the hook. So I'm thinking like, okay, so I only did it for I only did the affirmation for like 2 days, and then so it's working so quick. So I'm thinking to myself, it must have just picked up where the other one left off, the other affirmation, that I had did a couple of years prior. and then it just continued to work. But what I wanted to know is, why would I have to do this affirmation over again anyway? Hadn't I already set this in my mind about I will earn $10,000 a month? You know what I mean? So it should have been there forever. This is what I'm thinking. But I had so many fears about money. And let me tell you this too. When the money stopped coming, the fear came back up. So then I realized, okay, I need to find out what this fear is and take care and do affirmations for that. And then when I do affirmations for that, it will remove all the others. And then when I do the affirmation for the money, it will be able to just come right in and I wouldn't have to keep doing it. So I'm saying this to tell you that we have layers upon layers upon layers of fears that we have set up in our subconscious mind about money. So sometimes if you do it for 90 days, you're going to get the money. That's no doubt. That's not even in question. But let's say 6 months, let's say you stop doing the affirmation in 90 days, and then in 6 months you find yourself back in the same place you were. Because you really need to get to the root of why there's such a lack of money. What is the belief on that? Once you get to the root and change that, then you won't have that problem anymore. Or if you continue to say, I am wealthy, until you are truly wealthy, then you won't have to keep doing it either. So let's say you right now at work, you don't have anything in your bank account and you want to get wealthy, okay? So you do this affirmations, I am wealthy, and then you get $100,000 and then you stop. It may come back where you're going to struggle because you'll spend that $100,000 and then you'll be broke again, okay? Because the really reason that you don't have money has not been addressed. So you may already, continue to go back and you won't have money to how it was before. But if you do an affirmation, I am wealthy, and then you hold on to that affirmation until you actually have, let's just hypothetically say, you say it until you get $1 million in your bank account, okay? And then you stop. It's not going to hardly come back till you go back to struggling again. Because what will happen is then you'll begin to live a life as if you were wealthy. And you will build on that frequency of wealth until you really become that wealth. Because we are what we think we are, okay? So then it would not come back. But when you just have accumulated, let's say, 100,000, that's not being wealthy. So you're really still not using that lifestyle. One time, to give you an example, I had got up until like over $100,000, right? But what I did was spend. I was spending so much. I went to the bank and I couldn't believe it was something on the lady's screen that was just moving really fast. And I said, what is that? And she said, oh, that's you at the outlet spending, the money. This is all the charges that went through the day. I sat there flabbergasted because I was like spending money like I was running a marathon. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have time to live the life of wealth because I was spending so much money. So then the new belief that I am wealthy, I wasn't actually living that life. So then I was only spending. So then how could that change any other belief that I may have had that was blocking my money? It couldn't. So what I'm saying is you have to accumulate enough money in your bank account that you're actually living it. So let's say if I had went on and accumulated $1 million, so I might have went to the store and I might have shopped, and maybe I would have even spent $300,000 of it. But I still would have had a lot of money in the bank where I would have had to live the lifestyle of wealth. You follow me? So that's how these affirmations work. And your subconscious mind is very powerful. I may do a part 3 because there is some more information you need to know about the power of the subconscious mind. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Have a great week.